Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. More, hate less, read comics. It's Blake's Buzz Live.
Buzz, buzz, babies.
What is up, everybody? Happy Thursday. It is another episode of the Metal Ninja Studios, or the Metal Ninja Dojo Roundtable, where we talk to you about all the awesome stuff we're doing at Metal Ninja Studios. With me, I have our boss, our fearless leader, our guiding light, our shining star, Joel Rodriguez. I was gonna keep going. I ran out. We got Matt Krautzer, our one of our letters and designers, who just went away right before I introduced him.
I'm here. I'm just, for some reason, my camera's not working.
No worries. I can see you now. How's it going, guys? How's happy Thursday? Joel and I were just talking about how it's like we were so used to logging into these things, and it's a meeting. And I reminded it. I was like, it's not a meeting. We get to kind of have fun on this one.
I still expect you to take rigorous meeting notes, though.
Oh, I'm supposed to take shit. All right. Let's take live stream notes. How are you, like, Matt? What's going on your end? Are we keeping you busy? Are we taking?
Oh yeah.
Good stuff.
Yep. Getting caught up on a few back projects and keeping graphics going for the Kickstarters and new goals. Last 48 hours of DCC Nightfall.
We're in the final stretch of the final nightmare. It's and everybody, it's backers of the campaign, people that have gone to the campaign page. Matt's doing most of the graphics and stuff on our campaign page. The contest graphics, the update graphics, all that stuff you've been seeing come out. That is all Matt. Matt, we just recently stole Matt partially stole him from his day job to bring him in even more into the circle. So we're definitely using we're happy to have other people, and I'm sure Christian is too. Christian couldn't be here tonight, unfortunately. Sorry, ladies. I know his accent and long flowing hair is one of the main reasons to tune in. But he had previous engagements, and we've been running him through the ringer. So we said get out of here. You know, you're not fired. It's fine. You're safe. I think, anyway. No. Yeah.
Depends on if he makes it to the next one.
Right. Yeah. Right. The next month is going to be the big one. And Joel's had a busy week going on too. We got some very cool stuff to talk about tonight. It's been a crazy. It's been a month since we did one of these, but the last 2 weeks have been. It's been interesting. It's been fun. Fun is a word for it. We've all been busy, and we've all been time crunching for some clients with New York Comic Con and some other big launches. It's exciting stuff. Metal Ninja's making some waves. Metal Ninja's doing some good stuff. Like I mean, as the daddy of it all, the Metal Ninja daddy. How are you?
These
how are
names
you
you come up with,
right? I'm on it. How are you feeling about everything lately?
Exhausted. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be counting on you to tell me everything that's happened in the past month, because I don't remember what happened earlier today. Yeah, honest, jokes aside, I am thrilled with all of the stuff that we've announced. We'll be touching on quite a bit of it this evening, answering any questions if anyone has any questions in the chat. And if you have questions, please do. Otherwise, Blake will keep rambling, and we need questions.
I'll keep calling people weird names.
Not people, me.
Yeah, just
Matt, how did you get so lucky? But
I don't know Matt well enough yet. I got to get to know Matt a little better before I can start saying weird
I grew
stuff.
up with a last name that's this close to the word crotch. So I mean, I pretty much I did my time already. So
valid. All right. I'll take pity on you, I guess. But yeah, there have been some huge things going on. The biggest announcement of which is the Merc deal.
Yeah.
We can touch on that in a bit more detail later, but I mean, we've got a bunch of campaigns, bunch of active stuff going on. A big one that just got announced / revealed today is the Feeding, which is a project that we did production for David Boer and Drew Zucker. That's over on Zoop. Is that what the thing's called? Is it Zoop?
Zoopaloop.
Yeah, that.
Zoopaloop is the unofficial name. That was it's just Zoop.
they should have gone with Zoopaloop.
They should have talked to me before they launched. I tried to tell them.
They should. They need a marketing guy.
I don't know. I mean, that would be. It'd probably be a cool job, but no. I'm like you guys keep me busy enough. That's you get all the marketing.
Yes.
Yeah, you're safe.
Oh, good. I don't want to have to fight people.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a book that David Boer and Drew Zucker have been working on, lettered by And World Design, and we got brought in to do the production for it after working with them on a Kanto Ashcan. And this book is awesome. I can't wait for everyone to read it. It was really fun for us to work on. And now I'm happy we finally get to talk about it.
I know, me too. It was funny because fans of the show. Speaking of fans of the show, our whole Australian audience is in the chat right now. We got Ronan, what's up, baby, and we got Gary, Mr. Gary Proudly. Gary was on last night. We had a great chat. But yeah, apparently Blake's Buzz is just huge in Australia. That's amazing. I'll take it. We're international. But they were. Dave and Drew were on last week, and they were joking about it because they were like, "Oh yeah, you're our first podcast," and we were like, we didn't realize that like we hadn't announced it yet. We couldn't really talk about it, and we couldn't really say the name. And so I almost said it one time, and Dave almost said it 2 or 3 times. He almost said the Feeding, and he like caught him. He was like, "Ooh," and so we kept talking around it, but I mean, like that we talked about Kanto, we talked about both of their interests in horror and some good horror reads for the spooky season and stuff. It was really great chatting with both of them. I had a great time talking, and I finally got to read Kanto. They sent me Kanto Volume 1 to read before the show.
Nice.
And I'd never got to read it before, and I was like, oh my god, it's so good. I was like, wow, like the talent that they both possess is way up there. And so yeah, very, very proud and grateful, and it's cool to be involved in a project with them. And like Joel said, like, you know, we've been working on this book, we all got to read it, and it's a great horror one shot. They want to do more of these, so like please go back. If you like Kanto, as you can see, there's some really cool add-ons, there's some extra stuff by them, some really gorgeous art prints you can see right here, and you can get some nice commissions and original art for really good prices from Mr. Zucker. Like you get one of the best things about crowdfunding, I tell people all the time, is you can get original art for a lot cheaper than you can at like cons and stuff typically. And so yeah, I encourage everybody to give this a look. You can already see some of the art's already sold. They've sold like covers and some stuff. But yeah, it's a great book. We are super proud to work on it, to be a part of it. And they're good guys. They're good dudes, and Zoop is a cool platform. So and as you can see, it's funded too. So if you go there and snag it, the book's good, it's going to get made, you're going to be safe. You're gonna get your stuff. So I definitely encourage that. How did you come across them, Joel? Because that you like met them or something? Like, I mean, that was
nope.
kind of, no? Okay.
Nope. We've never actually met. David, for those who don't know, David Byrne, the publisher of Metal Ninja Studios, publishing division, he went to San Diego Comic-Con last year, And while he was there, he was talking to people, and I was jealous sitting at home working on stuff. And he was telling me all the awesome stuff that was going on. And I was like, oh, dude, that's awesome. And then he said, yeah, by the way, David Bohr and Drew Zucker are going to be reaching out to you. I said, oh? He said, yeah, they worked on this. And he sent me Kanto. And I'm, oh, okay. And yeah, he basically referred them over because they were working on an Ashcan for Kanto Volume 4, and they needed someone to do production on it. So he was talking to them about that, and he said, I know a guy. And he sent them over to me, and then that started what will hopefully be a long and fruitful working relationship. And apparently they liked what we did on Kanto because they came back for the feeding, and hopefully they like what we did there, and they went public with it, so I'm guessing they do.
Yeah, they did mention. I told Joel, like, after the show ended last week, like they both did mention that they really like working with Joel. They really like the studio, and so that was very, very cool. I didn't I was even we were like pre-gaming, and I was like, Joel, should I like push this? Should I steer the conversation? Should I like bring up Metal Ninja if it didn't? And Joel was like, no, like he was like, if it comes up naturally, fine, but like don't, it's about them, it's about their book, that's what we want to focus on. And I was like, okay, cool. And so like, yeah, I didn't even have to like twist their arm or bribe them or anything, right? They just came out and said they liked what we do, they like Joel, they like working with us, and so it's very cool. Very, very, I still feel very lucky. David Byrne is why I have this job too. Well, I like to think part of it is because I do good work, but David introduced me to Joel, and that's when we had our initial meeting and stuff. And I'm just, as the things that I get to be involved in, and the stuff that I'm doing, and I mean, all the meetings, but like, seeing how, how production studios work, and like what we do, and how we're involved in all these different elements of comic book making. It's, from a reviewer podcaster start to like, here we are, right? It's very, very much like, I know this is so cheesy, but it's very much like Drake, right? It's like, started from the bottom, now we're here, baby. Like, all I see is fireworks, right? Now, anyway, sorry. I like Drake. I'm not ashamed to say it.
I
makes some good jams.
I admire the way he bounced back from adversity after when he was shot through the spine in high school, man. That was
right. Yeah. And he used to be, I like it when he used to be a lot more nerdy. Like when he used to wear like Christmas sweaters when it wasn't Christmas, and like when he was kind of like weird. And anyway, but yeah, my nerd life is very interesting now. And it's just cool because I never thought this would be where I would end up. Like, I at a time I had, dreams and aspirations, like wanting to be a writer and wanting to write books and stuff like that. And now I'm making comic books, but in a different way, and in different, in different aspects of the industry that a lot of people aren't involved. Like, the marketing, I get to see how the donuts are made. I got all this insider baseball information. It's very cool.
And we can't necessarily talk about the title yet, but someone's going to be editing a book.
Yeah, and I'm going to be I'm going to be editing my first comic book, which is something which is very, because I mentioned when we had our first meeting, I kind of told Joel that it was something I wanted to do. I've actually said that to, like, I've been like letting everybody know it's kind of something I want to do. Like, I've told like a couple other clients that our friend Jessica, who does Mary Shelley, like, she's got some cool stuff in the works, and I just told her, like, I even offered, I was like, I was like, if you want me to read stuff for free, let you know what I think about it, I will, like, just give you, I was like, I'll do anything. Joel's like,
this is my marketing manager.
Yeah, Joel's like, you don't do anything for free, which is funny because Joel, like, our whole deal lately is like, we're trying to give more to the community, but apparently I'm giving too much. But I've been very interested in it, and I was really stoked the other, like, I just got Joel messaged me, I almost said at work, but we communicate through Discord mainly. So Joel messages me, and he was like, so do you really want to edit a comic book? And I was like, yeah. And he like sent me the script, and I was like, oh my, I was like, all right, it's real, let's go, let's party. So yeah, I'm just very I'm very, very very lucky, and I never know necessarily what tomorrow's going to bring, but it's I get it's waking up in the morning when you're doing this kind of work is just, it's different. It's so different than like being at a job where you're just like a cog in the wheel, and people don't really, you're just there for a paycheck and stuff. And so like this is the first time in my life where I've been proud of what I'm doing, love what I'm doing, and get to wake up every day and do more of it. So I'm just I'm forever indebted to Joel and Christina, his wife, who one day I hope will get on the live stream, because she's actually really funny and I think would be good on a stream. But dude, Joel can't get her to do it.
I tried. Tried blackmail, tried bribery. Couldn't do it.
One day.
So Matt, big news for you this week is you're stepping down from full-time at day job to work with us more. So
which is nice. It's mentally, it's been amazing, because and it was something like I didn't realize the mental change that it made until like yesterday, when I stepped away from the computer for a while and went back. Like, I mean, I think I've talked about this before, but like I was 20 years I was doing graphic design, and then pandemic hit, got cut from the company I was with in my 20th year. It's like, hey, thanks for 20 years, there you go. But then for the past couple of years I've been working outside my field, and it was rough. Like I dealt with some depression and stuff like that came from major life changes and not being doing what I wanted to be doing, and part of that was losing interest in some of my hobbies. Like I used to do puzzles. I love Legos. I have a Lego set that's sitting over here. I haven't touched it in 2 years. It's not finished yet, which, the people who knew me from before would be like, how did you not finish a Lego set for 2 years? But yesterday I got off work and my wife had gotten me a puzzle for my birthday a few weeks ago. And I got that out. And last night, I think I did like half of the puzzle. It's a 1,000-piece puzzle. I got like halfway done. And I'm like, wow, like this, just I think being back doing what I'm supposed to be doing has like just hopefully this is a sign that my mental state's coming back to where it used to be, and happy Matt is here again.
We like happy Matt. We need more happy Matt. We need more Matt in a good mood. We like that.
Yes.
But yeah, that's cool. I was gonna ask because I didn't know exactly what you did for your day job. I didn't know if it was graphic design oriented or if it was just
no, I was working at the local grocery store. I was picking online orders for people and taking them out to their cars for them and stuff. And there's aspects that I really liked. I loved meeting, the people in my community, getting to know them, their needs, and, helping them with something that's, important for them. But at the same time, like, there's no creative outlet there at all.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, what can I do creative? And they're like, you can't do anything because we can't hang up handmade signs or anything like that. Like everything has to be corporate approved. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, can I talk to corporate? No.
Yeah, I tried that too.
Yeah, no one likes that. No one likes to talk to corporate. No one wants you to talk to corporate. Usually, usually.
You realize that technically you're corporate.
I know. But we're a small business though. We're not as corporate.
We're a corporation.
I don't do the business stuff, Joel.
I do. But Matt, we're definitely happy to have you on, especially in a more extended role. I'm thrilled to hear that it's been going good for you.
Yeah.
And we're gonna keep throwing stuff at you. So hopefully it keeps going up and not down.
Yeah.
No. Bring it on. I'm having a blast.
Careful what you ask for. Just ask Blake how much stuff we've been throwing at Christian.
Yeah, that is true. Once you go all in with Joel, he takes it very, very seriously.
Oh no, I've seen the Discord chats. I'm sitting there going like, yeah, just keep talking to Blake. Keep talking to Blake. just let me work.
Oh man, yeah, it's very cool, and it's, I mean, you know, the good part of being busy is that's it. Our studio is busy, and we're doing cool things, and all of us have jobs to do, and all of us have important jobs to do, and everything's coming together, and we're keeping our clients happy, and you know, it's just it's very cool, and things are changing and continuing to change, and are, you know, like before we all came, like, you know, Joel expanded the team. That's why, you know, me and Matt are here. And yeah, like I know Joel was very happy when he told me. I always know, like, I don't ever get late night messages from Joel if they're like bad. Like if Joel messages me at night, it's because he's excited usually about something. And so, like, and I remember he was like, oh man, like he was like, Matt left his job, or like something happened with Matt's work, and we're gonna get more of him. And I was like, oh, so I was like, did you tell Christian yet? I was like, that's who I know was like really happy because Christian. But yeah, I never realized, you know, what a design, like what it entailed being a designer, and, you know, like the tasks that get dropped on you, and like, and doing client work, right? And even, it's something we've been dealing with, is like, even after something gets approved, right, a last minute, those last minute changes that may come in, or those speedy requests, and it's just like, you know, that you like, we just tell you guys to do it, and you turn around and do it, and not in, when you guys do a task, it's a little bit different. You know, it's not like just completing something. It's completing something that looks good, that represents the company well, and that represents the client's brand and product well. So there's a lot of end game decision making and results that have to take place with what you guys do. So I have so much respect for what you guys do, and like watching you crank out the graphics for the Kickstarter campaign, and how good the Dust County Chronicles Nightfall page looked, and the new updates and stuff.
So that's a fun one, because obviously I'm a graphic designer. I started the business, built it off of lettering and graphic design. I bring Matt in. He's the first person that I've ever trusted to work on Dust County outside of me and Roman and the editorial team.
Oh wow.
I've done all of the Kickstarter graphics for everything. He comes in, does one campaign, and I'm like, my stuff sucks. So he came in, and instantly he knew the feel, the vibe, everything that we were looking for Dust County better than I did, and I made it. So yeah, he's just killed it with all of those campaign graphics.
Yeah, like the font, like I really appreciate font usage, because that's something I struggle with. I even asked Joel once. I was like, is there like 5 fonts that I can just go to and like just pick from? And Joel's like, no, there's thousands of fonts. Like there's an unlimited amount of fonts. And I was like, that's not what I want to hear. I wanted like a tight pool.
I think I showed you a screenshot of my font manager where I have like 15,000 fonts.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, it's just like from font selection to like the vines and the branches that you did on the graphics that kind of like, you know, reach out around the.
Yeah, that was the first thing that sprung in my mind when Joel was telling me about it. I was like he showed me some of the art, and I was just like, okay. And I'm sitting here, I'm just doodling while we were talking, and I was like, what do you think about this? He's like, ooh, that's interesting. he's like, run with that. See what, and so then yeah.
I didn't even finish giving him the job yet, and he had an idea that impressed me. I was like, okay, let's do it.
So Matt, is that part of your process, Matt? Do you like draw stuff in a notebook kind of thing, like before you go to like the screen in the computer? Or
generally, I mean, it depends on the project. But in this case, it was one where like I had an idea, and I was like, you know, let me get it down here. Just I have note cards here and whatever. While I was thinking of it, it's sometimes it's easier to do that than try to do something digitally, especially when you're trying to talk to somebody at the same time.
Yeah.
But sometimes I have stuff that I sketch out by hand first and work my way through. Other times I'm like, okay, I already know how something in my head how I want to do this, in Illustrator or Photoshop or whatever, and go about it that way.
Nice.
I think that's actually a fun topic to talk about, with this being the dojo and trying to add value in education. I do not do that. I don't sketch at all. I have tried to sketch for years, and what happens every time that I try is my brain locks up. Like, I've gotten an association with sketching to where I sit down. I've got 2 sketchbooks right here. No, 3. I have 3 sketchbooks in my desk drawer right here that I never touch, because I sit down, I start sketching, and nothing comes out. But if you get me in front of a computer, then I can throw stuff together fairly quickly, and I'm able to pull up references to get inspiration and things like that. But yeah, I don't know why, but for years, whenever I sit down with a sketchbook, I just completely lock up. And personally, I think that's an opportunity for improvement on my end, but I've got too much stuff going on right now.
Yeah. I do this, like, when I used to write poetry when I was on like the poetry side of grad school, I used to carry those little pocket moleskin journals. Like, I used to have one of those in my back pocket all the time. And it was like, if I came up with like a good line, or if I came up with like an essay topic or something I had to do for, like, I always had like something to write, in my back pocket. And I used to do that a lot, but then now whether I'm writing like a comic review or press release, or lately I found I'm really good at writing Kickstarter updates. Wonder why? But it's I can type faster than I can write. So when my brain's going and I'm trying to handwrite notes, I don't lock up, but I get all discombobulated. That's the technical term. Is the discombobulation, the cattywampus connections between the mind and the hand. But when I'm typing fast, like I can kind of keep up with my thoughts. And as Joel found out, I also take really good meeting notes, because I basically just type what everybody says the whole meeting, which I guess is something that people appreciate. But yeah, it's the same way. Like I get a little more, I get a little that tactileness of the keyboard and the clacking and just the speed that I'm able to keep up with my thoughts as opposed to handwriting. So I've gotten way more now into like the digital aspect of it. Like, for a while I tried to have a written planner that I could like write in and organize my like my interviews and the Blake's Buzz stuff and everything. And I couldn't keep up with it. And now, like, we do like the doodle scheduling and all the other stuff. And it's just like, it's all Google now, baby. It's like, I was like, why did I try to avoid this? It's like, it's all there. It's easy. It's like,
I have a funny story. So, as part of my morning routine, anyone who knows me knows that I am very regimented, and I get up at 4:30 in the morning every day. I have a 2.5 hour long routine that just gets me in the right mindset to tackle the day. Part of that is a morning journal where I sit down for about 15-20 minutes, journal out whatever I'm thinking, whether it's looking at the day before to see what I could have done better, what I could have improved on, what went well, or looking at the day ahead, or just whatever's on my mind. And when I started doing that, it was about 3 months ago, give or take. And I did it with a pen and paper, and I would sit down and I'd write. And in my head, I was like, oh, I wrote a lot. I filled up a page. Well, I recently transitioned over to digital. I use Workflowy for a lot of stuff in my personal daily management. And my journal is through Workflowy. So I get on there and I start typing stuff out, and I realize, okay, everything that I've done for the past month or so, I want to digitize it. That way, all my journal entries are in one spot. So I started going through and retyping out all of these journals. And I remember every time I wrote one, I was like, shit, I wrote a lot. I filled up a page. And then I type it out and, oh, I wrote like 2 sentences.
Yeah. It's like a paragraph. Nice.
I was like, oh man, I did not write much at all, but it felt like it because it took me so long to write everything out compared to typing. Looking at the comments, we have our first question, Blake.
We do. Well,
we do. We do.
It's a question, but it's not about the studio. Gary, have you ever? I can send you some stuff, Gary. I mean, I don't know. My poetry was really sad.
We. He said we.
Can we all? Oh yeah. I mean, I've been published. It's not. I'm not like not proud of it. I just don't write much of it anymore.
Wait. You're a published poetry writer? How am I just now finding out about this?
Yeah, I've only been published like from universities I attended. So like, I mean, I know it counts, but to me, it kind of doesn't count sometimes. But yeah, I've had some pieces in. I'm an award-winning writer. I won at UMKC. I won the John Latosi Creative Writing Award. At Avila University, I won an essay award for a piece I wrote in my Gothic Lit class, and yeah.
So I never want you to leave Metal Ninja Studios, but for future reference, when you're applying for a job, step 1 is tell all the awesome shit you've done.
It's on my you never asked for my resume. I don't think it's on my resume, like on like my achievements and like writing awards and stuff I won. Yeah. But I remember when I got the job that I quit, that I left, that started cool, but when the owner sold it and it got real corporate and changed, and like that's when it got bad. But I remember like my old boss, and I liked my old boss, this guy Joe, and he was my manager for a long time. And I remember when he was reading my resume, and my resume was I had like a 3 deal. It was like a writer, editor, storyteller or something. It looked cool on the heading. And like, you know, it was a niche call center, and Joe's like, so storyteller, the hell does that mean? And he was like, he was messing with me, but you know, like but I mean, I told him, you know, I was like, well, I mean, I was like, part of it is I'm good at talking to people. I'm good at, you know, like I can make people feel good and transition different elements. And I did. I was good at my job. We did home inspections. Like we pretended to be local home inspectors, but we were a call center. And so like I talked to like stressed out home buyers all the time, getting these home inspections. And part of what it was like, you know, you got to make people feel comfortable and make them feel like, hey, like I know it's stressful, but you know, our guy's going to get in there. He's going to do a good job. He's going to make sure you guys are buying something that lasts you and your family a long time and is a safe place for you guys to stay and make a home. And then they'd be like, oh, thank you. That makes me feel better. And then, but then, like I said, like things got weird. A big corporation bought us, and they turned it into like instead of like what it felt like a little community with like teams and then they like made everybody, I don't know, they like turned it into like a bigger, wider thing. And it was just like a call center you imagine, right? When like everybody's in like a cubicle and it's just like there's like keys clacking and a depressing like, you know, and it's just like that's what it turned into and got weird. But yeah, anyways, but yeah, it's I have poetry somewhere. And then also we got K-pop here. Joel was just on kicking it with K-pop the other day, but she's agreeing about the graphics on the Kickstarter that you did a great job, Matt.
No, thank you.
But yeah, and I think Joel's press tour has finally wrapped up too. We've been keeping him busy.
Before we get away from the questions, we have another question.
We do?
Yes.
Wait, the slam? This one?
Yeah.
Oh, Brody's in here. What's up, Brody?
Yeah, we're not getting away from the poetry until I learn all of your secret skills.
Yeah, I used to do not technically slam poetry, but I was very much free verse. I tried some of the formal stuff and like sonnet writing and like talking in iambs and rhyming, and every now and then I would go into that or like use it to like accentuate lines, akin to like, bolding comic book scripts, like to highlight certain moments. But there were a couple times where
I remember you can tell you're talking to comic writers because you're explaining poetry shit, and then you're just like, it's like when you bold a line, and we're both like, oh, okay.
We were at this fancy. We were at this fancy restaurant in downtown Kansas City one time, and we had the back room for the grad students to do a reading. And so like some of the students that were writing like, creative nonfiction essays, they'd read like a portion of their essay, or the poets would read a poem, or read a section of a short story or something. And I brought a couple poems to read. And I people that know me have a foul mouth. I use foul language, and I do that in my writing too. And so they had me on a microphone in this fancy restaurant, and I had this really long poem about my dog. An old dog had this squeaky toy that was real loud, and he would get it, and he would like do it till it like drove you crazy. And I wrote a poem about how people in the world sometimes are like these squeaky toys, and it's just like, it's just, you just hear you just eep into the world, you eep into society. And I went on this, I read this aloud into a microphone, and there were some intense words and phrases, and people people were like, holy shit. And I was like, yeah. And so like, yeah, I used to go around town and do like poetry readings at coffee shops and stuff. And my undergrad, I got some grants for doing like community work in the writing field. And for a long time I was going to be I thought I was going to be like, Stephen King, or I thought I was going to write the next big novel or something. And then I remember in grad school when I was getting back into comics, and I told my thesis advisor, I was like, man, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I really want to write a comic book. And he like laughed at me, and he was like, he was like, you can write. Why would you want to write a comic book? And it really bummed me out. And I was like, wow, like, aren't you guys supposed to be like kind of encouraging, or like, be like, yeah, you're in grad school spending a lot of money on this art degree. Like, aren't you supposed to like encourage chasing our dreams, not be like, that's a dumb idea. Like, so, but yeah, it
is not about chasing dreams.
No, it's about spending money. It's it's about spending money and learning how to do what people tell you to do, basically. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, it's but yeah, it's finally, I did I got a 2-page short in an anthology that'll be coming out in the next couple months. I'm editing a comic book now, and it's I'm excited to see, like, I'm not, my writing's not done, like I'm that's something I've learned. One of the best things I've learned talking to creators, doing all the stuff I do for Blake's Buzz, is it's like that mentality of like, oh, you have to do this before you're 30, or you have to, like, there's no age limit on success, especially publication. And
start at like 47 or something like that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you can find a career late. You can find a new love in life. And so like, there's never give up.
I mean, step one is tell your boss all the stuff you can do.
I mean, I thought we talked about it. Because I know, like, more and more of my stuff is writing, like, or centric, right? Like, I'm doing a lot more like, Kickstarter updates. One of our clients, I've been doing their Kickstarter updates, and even they were like, oh wow, these are nice updates. This is cool. Like, yeah, like, this is stuff we should be doing. And I was like, yes, it is. Like, like, let people know about your product, and remind them that you're appreciative of them supporting you. And but I see that with a lot of Kickstarters. There's a lot of people that, like, the day one updates don't happen. As like, I feel like more updates now are like as the campaign goes on, and after the campaign finishes, and it's like more fulfillment focused, right? But it's like, one of the things that I really loved about Joel and Christina, and how they wanted their Kickstarter focus, was like, yeah, we want a day one update. We want weekly updates. We remind the backers that we appreciate them. Every backer gets a message from us, and we write these emails to the backers, thanking them. And I think little steps like this, like, make a big difference in Kickstarter campaigns. Like, just like when you have good graphics and a good looking campaign page, these, a little bit of effort. And so, especially now when everything's kind of weird and different, and campaigns are performing a lot differently than some people expect or think they will, it's that extra effort matters. And I think it I think people notice it. And I think people will notice it you know, in the future, and returning backers and stuff. So I just, you know, I like that. And when I do Kickstarter consulting for other people and other clients, like that's something I'm gonna like carry with me now, is to be like, you know, remind your people that they're the reason you're here and that you appreciate them. Because I think a lot of people don't, you know, and it's just like, because that's the, you know, like, oh, my stories are so good, and you know, it's my milkshake that brings the nerds to the yard, and not, you know, not whatever. But you know, it's, you know, without people reading these books, and without people coming to the campaigns and backing it, and sharing the campaigns, without the community hosting us like a lot of people did with Joel, and doing these interviews and helping us get the word out, you know, these campaigns wouldn't happen. Or they would happen, but they would be stagnant and wouldn't fund, you know, or, you know, they'd just sit there. And so, you know, I like that. I like our mentality, and I like that we push that for our other clients, to kind of remind them to, you know, like, yeah, get, like, fulfillment is important. Communicating with your backers is important, you know, like, make your landing page, make your Kickstarter stories stick out, you know, make it something you're proud of, that other people will proudly back and support and share. You know, it's a lot of the values and pride we put into, you know, our client work. You can see on our homestead on the Dust County campaign.
I'd like to touch on that, because for anyone watching this, we learn all of that and we implement it because of all of the mistakes that I've made in the past getting to this point. A large reason why I wanted to do the dojo is to share the mistakes that I've made that have helped us expand and can hopefully help all of you. Everything that Blake just said is 100% derived from my mentality of, okay, I have this team now. What can we do that I didn't pay attention to before? Like Blake, one of the main reasons why he was brought on was because I was horrible with social media, and I knew that it was important. So I wanted to get someone to help out that was important, or that could do social media. But another thing that I slacked on a lot with my last couple campaigns for the Dust County Chronicles was communication. Especially with the Dust County Chronicles Nightfall #2, we would go months without an update, and fulfillment was late, and I wouldn't post an update. And I've talked about it before plenty, and it all comes down to the fact that I'm a very nose to the grindstone type of person, to where, going back to my regiment that I talked about earlier, I'm always focused on what I'm doing. And admittedly, that was to the detriment of the fans, of the people that supported me. And I think that has cost. I think it's cost me fans. I think it has cost the Dust County fan base. Mainly, I know that if I was a backer, I would not be happy in that situation. So when we got to this campaign, I learned from that, and I wanted to make sure that that was something that our backers never felt again. Because, like Blake said, we wouldn't be here without those backers. We wouldn't be here without everyone who supported us. I wouldn't be here where I am right now if it wasn't for the two guys sitting on this call and the rest of the team. So showing that level of appreciation at any possible point is going to take that prior lesson that I made, of those mistakes that I made, and completely flip it on its head, to make sure that everyone that is responsible for either getting me to where I am, or getting Dust County to where it is, making sure that they know that they're responsible for it at any possible chance. And it took me making that mistake to learn what to fix in the future. So I guess all of that to say, the big lesson here is, a mistake is only a mistake if you learn nothing from it. Otherwise, it's a learning opportunity. And everything that he's talking about are built off of the learning opportunities of my career thus far. So yeah, don't be afraid to make mistakes, because eventually you'll learn from them, and those mistakes and those lessons that you learn will eventually become the values upon which you grow.
Yeah, totally. And I like that book. Joel bought me a book called This Is Marketing, which I think is very people that are interested in formulating your brand. What do I? It'll make you think about Kickstarter performance differently. It'll make you think about comics differently. It's a wide spectrum of marketing, but it really does give some really good ideas. But one of the best moments of that book for me personally was like, don't be afraid to fail. You actually want to fail. Failing means you tried something and it didn't work, and now you have another idea to try again. And like, and that really, that saying to me, because that I think so a lot of us get caught up in being perfect or scared to try, because what if we don't make it, what if we don't succeed, and I've gotten caught up in that, and I've been scared to try things, and out of that fear of failure, and so that whole notion of using it as a learning experience, and as like another another step, another idea, a stepping stone kind of, that was really cool. So I definitely, it's a cheap little book. It's a quick read. It's called This Is Marketing. Really encourage you. Like it's a lot of indie creators out there, I think, could benefit on reading some stuff like that. Is it as fun as reading a comic book? No, but it will learn. You'll learn, and the guy can write too. So it's, like I said, it's an easy read. It's not stuffy. It's not textbooky, and it's just it'll make you think about how to interact with your community differently. It makes you think about like the whole deal. I also really like the deal of like marketing is telling a story. That made me think a lot differently about stuff, about what we do in the comic book realm, and in regards to Kickstarter. And like I was just talking about it, how important it is to embrace that communal nature of Kickstarter, right? The community, it's, supporting other people's campaigns, highlighting campaigns on your updates. The other day, like we did quite a bit of research, trying to find like spooky campaigns to feature on our updates. And then there was a lot of cool stuff out there. And then we kind of took it a step further and went and found just some campaigns that needed love, right? That were hurting a little bit, that just, and we kind of tried to focus on them. And then after we posted the update, we reached out to them, and we were like, hey, just so you know, I hope it helps. And we featured you on our campaign. Your project looks cool. And the responses that we got from that, I thought were, it was like we made these people's day, like it was like they're online retweeting, sharing, posting in any crowdfunding thread they can find, posting in Facebook groups, and sometimes you get the engagement, sometimes you don't, right? And a lot of times you don't. A lot of times it's just like you're hoping someone sees it, you're hoping someone clicks on these links, and so yeah, like actually reaching out to them and being like, hey, you got a cool looking campaign, and we shared it, and hopefully our backers take note in it, and like it just really meant a lot to these people, and that's what I think is beautiful about Kickstarter, and I think it's important to do. I think it's important to do that. Just that's how Kickstarter kind of came to be, right? It's not a competition. It's this big group of creators that are all they're trying to make something. They're trying to tell a story. But unfortunately, it's not unfortunately, but it's just kind of part of the game now, is where it's like marketing and product placement, branding. These are all elements that you have to think about now when you're selling a comic, because a comic book is art, right? And it's your baby, and it's a story, but it's also a product. And so you have to think about it like a product. Sometimes Joel and I have had conversations about this a lot too, where, Joel says a lot of people in this industry don't think about this industry as a business. And it's like a lot of people consider like comic books making, not a business, or it's an art form, and is art business, and like if you ask Joel, like part of the reason why our successes are happening, and why bigger things are happening, is because Joel treats it like a business. And it's not that we're this soulless corporate entity. It's just, Joel uses different tactics to kind of, get our brand out there, to help other people get their products out there. And we were in Bleeding Cool last week. So I'm pretty sure like that speaks for itself. Like Metal Ninja Studios was in Bleeding Cool, and but before we get into that, I guess we've talked about Matt's great looking campaign page and stuff. So I want to bring this up real quick just so we can kind of show it off. Because
we're only 55 away. Nice.
Yeah, we got a couple more back, and we're 2 backers away from another backer tier digital reward unlock. So 2 more backers, you guys get another free book, and
50, so we got some graphics to do.
Yeah, get to work, Matt.
Oh, trust me, Matt, it's not over till the clock hits 0.
Yeah.
Oh no,
there's 36 hours. Who knows what can happen in 36 hours. But yeah, and these are some, okay, so like this is some of the stuff Matt's been making, and so like this is our this is the contest we're running right now to all physical backers. All you got to do is share the campaign and tag us.
That's not what this is.
It's not. Oh, this is the new cover. Yep. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, this is the new tier.
Yeah, this is the new drawn-in cover. Yeah. Okay. So the final 48-hour special is where you can get Roman will draw you on a cover. And not only do you get the original art, as you can see, you get 5 trade dress, 5 virgin covers, and 2 metal covers. You get this whole you get immortalized in the Dust County mythos, which is pretty cool. And so that's that we're doing that. There's only 2 of these available. So if you are the ultimate collector, and if you want your likeness on a really cool comics, really cool cover, you need to step up in 36 hours and step up. Like I said, there's only 2 left. And you get a lot. You get a lot and original art for that price. But these are the what I'm talking about, like Matt's graphics, like the text, the vines, they're easy to follow, they're clear. They're fun to read. I think the text and the color variances and stuff, like it all just works very well. And then here's our stretch goal we got coming up, which Travis Gibb, who Joel was on Level Up a couple nights ago with Travis, he's going to write us a prose story if we get to 4,700. Travis is the writer of Granite State Punk from Scout Comics, and he does the Cthulhu Invades. He runs those anthologies, and he also did Coins of Judas from Band of Bards. So he's a talented writer, and we're excited to see this prose story that he's going to use to dive deeper and expand upon this world that Joel built.
He's also a contributing writer for the Metal Ninja Dojo.
Yes, the blog.
Yep, he writes stories to help teach people how to write. Or writes blogs to help teach people how to write. So he's doing a lot of great work, both in and out of Metal Ninja Studios.
Yeah, our blog is very cool, and we've been getting some good feedback on it. People are like Jonathan Hedrick is our other blog writer. The newest post was about choosing a character name. We've dealt with writer's block. We've dealt with breaking the story, plot breakdowns, things like that. So like these guys are in the field. They're actively making a lot of books. Like both Jonathan and Travis make a lot of comics throughout the year, crowdfunded and from direct market. And they are taking the time out of their schedule to write these pieces to help both seasoned comic writers and creators and newbies, people that have no idea what's going on, or maybe have a script idea or a story idea that they want to take to the next level. And
yes, I actually found the breaking down the plot one to be very good, because that's something like I've written stuff. I used to be in a writing group years ago. It was Star Wars fanfic basically, but we all contributed in like a group setting. And I have stories of my own that I would love to tell, but actually figuring out how to block out the plot and write an actual comic book script was like, that's a whole nother tool set. And I was like, I didn't know how to really get to that. And I thought this one was really good at kind of cracking that code and figuring out, how to translate from what's, in my head in one form into, a more useful comic book form. Yeah. So, I mean, really good blog posts, and yeah, I highly recommend it.
And we got cool ones. We got even more cool ones coming. Like the guys have really good ideas, and there's going to be some there's even going to be some horror centric ones I think coming later this month, which is exciting. I'm writing one this month, which is interesting. We're gonna so yeah, we really just love this community, and we love making comics, and we love the feeling of making comics. And if we can help other people do that easier and chase those dreams and put cool stories out there, like that's the goal, man. That's what we're excited to do. And as I mentioned before, we wouldn't be here without the community support, a lot of what we're doing. And so we want to give back and help the creators and help make life easy. Life's never gonna be easy. We want to make your creative life easier. Not don't send us angry messages later because you had a bad day after reading our blog. It's not the cure all. But I just like what Jonathan talked about writers. Like one of the best things I liked about the writer's block piece was it's like, don't be scared of it because it's gonna happen. This is something that everybody deals with, and if you just know going into it that you're not alone, and that the people that you look up to deal with this too. And I like how Travis and Jonathan have brought it back into the community of like, there's several moments in their pieces where they talk about working with other creators and the relationships they have with other creators and how that's made their life as storytellers easier. I think that's very important. Like the community is a tool, and if you give to it, it will give back to you. And it's a cool place to be. And so anyway, and speaking of giving, here is our graphic for the giveaway we're doing right now, which the grand prize winner, you're looking at 4 cover metal variant set that's not available anywhere. And I can't imagine how cool these look in real life. I mean, they're gonna shine and reflect the light, and the terror embedded in these pieces is going to come alive in a whole different way. And so that's the grand prize you're looking at. And then runners up will get some issue of Spend the Night from Jackie Kong, who's another great writer doing some cool stuff, and was kind enough to offer their comic to and it kind of entice the giveaway. So you win some cool comics, win some cool prizes. All you got to do, back the campaign, share it, tag us, and then comment "Give me horror." And as I mentioned to Joel, and we were both curious, a lot of you have backed this campaign and can enter this, but haven't. So are you okay? Are you?
Maybe they just don't like free metal comics.
Yeah, right. Like they hate metal covers so much they don't even want free ones.
Yeah, they're like, no, I won't do metal. You can keep your. I will. Okay, fine. If you don't want to enter, then I'll keep it.
Someone will keep them.
I said I wanted to keep the original art, and someone bought it. So
yeah, someone that did sell. So yeah.
So hopefully this will work the same way, and
maybe. Well, fingers crossed.
Well, no, people have entered, so someone has to win.
Blake, you cannot enter.
Yeah. And then like I said, like here's our backer milestones. We got the next one coming at 100. We're just a couple more away from another unlock. And then the amazing covers we got, some of that awesome Roman Gubsky interior art, which all the press, like,
hey, there's Joel.
Yeah, there's Joel and Christina on the cover of this Chris Mad cover. Who's
someone really doesn't like me.
Didn't you tell him you wanted to be murdered, or did you just tell him you wanted to be on the cover?
I did neither, but I killed both of us in the comic, and he got inspired by that.
Okay.
Like the first page of the comic has me and her getting killed in a security camera. So then he's looking at the story and he sees that panel and he says, I want to do that. So that's what he did.
Nice. And then as you can see, like these like cover tiers that show like the covers and the variants of the covers you can get, the metal, the virgins, all this stuff. Like, man, you did such. This is the stuff I'm talking about. You did such a good job on it, and this just makes the campaign page pop, And not only that, like the add-on images and stuff. Like, this all just makes it look and feel a lot better, like a better product. Like it's just, you can tell that there's pride in this campaign, there's pride in this comic book, and there's talent around it. There's the designers are talented, the writers are talented, the artist is talented, the variant artists are talented. And but yes, all these cool add-ons and stuff. You got 36 hours. This contest is going. Like I said, you're going to get a few free digital comics, and I'm pretty sure we're going to hit that 100 backer. So you're going to get a new unlock there. So yeah, check out the campaign. metalninjastudios.com/Kickstarter will get you there. Also, if you go to any of our social medias, it's like all the links in our bios. Everything is. We've made it very, very easy for you to stumble across Dust County.
-s.co.
Oh, we have the short link now too for the contest.
And I'm pretty sure mnskickstarter.com goes there. Like,
oh, nice.
Yeah.
We've got several different URLs that go there. We haven't been using them, but we have them. Well, but you mentioned Bleeding Cool. Should we talk about Bleeding Cool?
I feel like that. I feel like I want to talk about Bleeding Cool.
All right, so let's talk about Bleeding Cool. We've been in Bleeding Cool, which is awesome. So I've been featured in Bleeding Cool once before, and that was when I got promoted to head of design for Scout. And that was cool. I'm not going to undermine it or undercut it. It was a very big moment for me, being a couple years into the industry. But that pales in comparison to having Metal Ninja Studios be the feature of an article in Bleeding Cool, because of some of the revolutionary stuff that we're doing in the industry. And that is just mind-boggling. And I love it. The article is basically about the new deal that we made with Merc Publishing, Legends Publishing, Black Ops Publishing, and Comics Elite. All of those companies by Sean Hodachko. And basically, we have taken over the project management for all three of those publishing lines, as well as some additional graphic design work for his retail store.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of work. It is huge, because basically what this proves is, as right now we're still in the early stages, we are building out infrastructure and still kind of getting our feet under us. But basically what this does is it proves that publishing companies can outsource the project management and production work needed to produce comics, which is huge for Metal Ninja Studios, the publishing companies as a whole, as well as the industry. Because one thing I talk about all the time is, well, two things really, is the commoditization of the industry, where basically no rates can increase because everyone does basically the same thing. And when everyone does basically the same thing, no one can adjust rates, because if you raise your rates too high, people will just go over here. It's a really big problem, and it's why rates for lettering, for example, haven't really gone up in the past 20 years. 30 years. 40. They haven't gone up since they started, all right?
Since Moses etched the commandments into the tablets.
Yes, he etched in the lettering rates. Thou shalt not change the lettering rates.
Yeah, I have somewhere on my computer, I have a thing. It was like the rates from like 1978 or something like that, and appallingly, most of the work I've done doesn't even get to those rates.
Wow.
A lot of times, like especially in indie comics and smaller stuff, like can't even touch what we were doing 45 years ago. Like,
wow.
Which is a problem.
Yes.
Obviously. And that's why I am adamantly trying to get rid of page rates for Metal Ninja Studios, and we don't charge page rates anymore. The way that we structure things based on the value that we give, we have been able to start breaking that mold. And the services that we provide to publishers are yet another way that we're trying to do things to change the industry and change how the industry thinks of work. Because I think I've talked about it on several meetings. There are quite a few creators and publishing companies, and really up and coming publishing companies. Like Merck started as one book on Kickstarter and grew to the titan that it is now. And people, especially when they're starting a publishing company, they don't realize all that goes into getting a book ready for print. A lot of people don't realize that there's a step to making a comic after lettering, and that's production and print design. And especially people starting their own publishing lines or wanting to grow their own publishing business. Imagine if you didn't have to learn that stuff by making a mistake. Imagine if you could lean on a team that not only has experience doing that, but has a proven track record of doing that, and the infrastructure already in place. And that's what we're building. And I started building it back when I worked at Scout, to bring this all back to my first article in Bleeding Cool, because I was the guy putting everything together. And the one problem that we had at Scout at the time was manpower, because it was me. During the time that I was at Scout, I was responsible for every single book that hit the shelf. And that's a lot. It got to the point where my freelance clients were being hurt by the work that I was doing for Scout, and I had to choose between working for Scout and working for my freelance clients. Obviously, I chose my freelance clients, and things progressed till we got here. And when that same opportunity, or that same problem, I would say, arose at Merck, it started laying the groundwork for where we are today, to where I'm not going to make that same choice twice. What if instead this is a repeating problem, because now I've dealt with this problem at two different publishers? What if I fix the problem? And that's what we're doing. And now everything that comes out from Merck Publishing via Kickstarter, maybe eventually the direct market, depending on how things go, it will be managed and run in terms of project management by Metal Ninja Studios, by the team you see here. We are responsible for everything that comes out from Merck Publishing. A big shout out to Christian, who is handling a massive amount of work.
That guy's a rock star. Where did you find him? Like, how did you find him?
He found me.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. He found me without realizing that he found me.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That's how serendipitous. Because he's so much of what we're doing right now is like, because Joel does lettering, Joel does designing and stuff too, but like we're now, like, with the new responsibilities and the new jobs that we're doing, like Joel is running the company. Joel is stepping back from the creative roles, from the designing roles, and overseeing production as a whole, and working more directly with the clients, and making sure the trains run on time, right? And so it's our designers like Matt and Christian that are coming in, and they're working with doing some client work and lettering the books and getting these Kickstarter pages ready and stuff like that. And as we've seen, especially with Merck and Comics Elite, and with New York Comic Con approaching, there's been some, like, Comics Elite can print in-house. Like, they just, if anybody follows them, like Sean just posted their new printer that he said cost as much as a home. basically, and it's huge, it's massive. It's like it goes like all the way down their warehouse wall, and like they just got it all set up today, and so like they can print metal covers in house, they can print everything in house basically. But you know they're relying on us to get their files, you know, ready for print and to get the designs organized, and the back, like we do the back covers and stuff for them, which Sean really likes. They make he thinks that they make and I agree, they make the collectible covers that they sell stand out and stick out in the collector market. Like no one else really does that. And it's very, you know, instead of having like an advertisement or a logo on the back cover, you know, it's bright and it's vibrant and it celebrates the specific issue that it's on, and it's very cool what we do. But you know, it's all this stuff has to be designed and made and then made ready to print and all, you know, and then like the bleeds have to be, I still don't really know what that means, but I saw that in the group chat and know that it's a thing that we have to deal with now. But yeah, you know, it's just like, there's, like Joel said, there's a lot that goes into making comics that a lot of people don't, just making the PDF, like just making the digital file that's not even necessarily print ready, but like the digital file for your backers or for your online marketplaces and stuff. Like it's a process, and if you want to do it right, which you should, right, you should have passion for your product, and you should want to produce the best product you can. You know, there are steps that you need to do, and this is, you know, we have a team now that can take that responsibility, put it on our shoulders, get everything ready, get it to your people, right? And you know, just like with Kickstarters, you know, we can make your Kickstarter page, we can do like the Kickstarter updates and the graphics and getting things ready to go, and Merc does like the mid campaign cover launches, and we get all that stuff ready to go. And so, you know, Sean is able to deal with his creators more, deal with his staff more, think more creatively, get more outside the box, try different stuff. He's able to do a lot more now that we are taking on some of the responsibility that, you know, he still worries about it, but he doesn't worry about it as much. And you know, and he'll as it continues, he'll worry about it less and less. But we've even seen with, I mean, we can't talk about everything, but you know, there's some cool covers coming out for New York Comic Con, and he was able to kind of set up these deals and make them happen because we were there to help get them ready to print, get them ready to produce, get them ready to go out and get ready for New York Comic Con. So that was cool. That's cool. I mean, I think that's cool. I you know, I guess I'm biased because it's my job and I work here, but you know, like it's, you know, like even though like I kind of hate New York Comic Con and I'm over it and I want it to be done, like I would like, if we all got to go, I'd be like, all right, that is, you know, I'd forgive it a little more, but it's like, I feel like the con has added some stress to everybody. I feel like in a couple weeks everybody's going to be happy when it wraps up.
Yeah, as a creative, as a businessman, because like Blake said, I look at all of this from the perspective of business. It gives me what I think is a unique perspective, but I could be mistaken. I don't want to speak for other people, but the same way that I rely on my team to keep the boat running while I'm focusing on growing the business, I want our customers, whether it's a freelance client or whether it's a publisher, I want them to be able to rely on us to keep their boat running while they focus on growing their creative dreams. Whether that's a writer who doesn't want to be a project manager, we do that. Whether it's a writer who doesn't know how to deal with artists, we do that. Someone who has no idea how to prepare a book for print. There are all of these things that people wanting to make comics don't necessarily want to do. They don't necessarily want to learn how to do. Up until now, there really hasn't been a way around it. Like a writer has been synonymous for a project manager. It doesn't have to be. And whether that's on the publishing side of things, whether it's on the independent creator side, I rely on my team. I rely on the two guys here every single day. And I rely on the rest of the team every single day to make sure that Metal Ninja Studio stays up and running while I'm focusing on making sure that we keep going forward. And they blow my expectations out of the water every single day. And I want to leverage that as much as I can to give other people the same exact feeling that I get when I log in to check something. I'm like, oh crap, I remember this needs to get done. I message Blake and he says, yeah, that's been done for hours. Yes. And that feeling is what I want to give to other people, whether it's Comics Elite and Merc and all of these publishers. Sean shouldn't have to worry about the books getting there on time. He's the owner of the company. He really shouldn't have to. That's why we're there. And any other creator that we work with, same exact thing. They shouldn't worry about whether or not deadlines are going to be hit. They shouldn't have to worry about managing timelines and projects and things like that. We can handle that. And I'm beyond excited for this opportunity because it gives us a chance to really stretch our wings and prove what Metal Ninja Studios can do. And I'm beyond excited for it. And I couldn't ask for a better team to do it with. And I'm kind of at a loss for words because I see the potential in what we're doing. I see what we can provide to the industry. And I think with the team that we have and the systems that we're building and the company that we're growing and everything that we're doing, I think we're going to be able to provide a lot of good to the industry. And I'm excited for it. I can't wait.
Yeah, I agree 110%. Like it, I love it. I love it. I'm excited for it. And I mean, I've been here not even 6 months or right at 6 months, maybe, right? Maybe it's getting close around there. But I mean, even from like when I started to now, and it's like things are different and it's and it's getting bigger and better. And it's not like the rocky tumultuous climb. Like, so every now and then it's a little bit slower and we have to be a little careful with how we navigate a new turn, right? But it's like we're making those turns and we're steadily progressing and we're keeping the team happy, we're keeping our in-house people happy, and we're keeping our clients happy. And so it's just like, you know, every challenge we get, we work as a team and we take care of them. And you know, and I like everybody I'm working with, and it's, you know, everybody's voice matters, which is having a job where that happens is just rare. But yeah, I'm the same, Joel. Like we've talked about this too, but you know, like I said, I get excited to work every day, and I'm excited, you know, and I'm excited to work tomorrow, you know, and I'm excited to work even on a weekend. I'm excited to work on a weekend. I'm excited to do the tasks that get handed to me. And I think I see us doing big things in this industry. I see us getting involved with a lot more creatives, you know, and a lot more, you know, like, you know, once we, this whole deal of like working for publishers and what we can do for them and how we can make their lives easier as a brand and a business and a machine, right? A comic book making machine, and make that, you know, put that ninja metal into it, you know, like, and make, you know, boom, you know, we can do it, and we're doing it, and it's exciting. And that's why you should all follow us on all our social medias, and you should support like our Kickstarter campaigns, and you should like give us, like, you know, be there for us so you can be on the ground floor.
there is one problem I haven't quite figured out how to solve yet. And I was telling Christina about it, and we were out for a walk, I think it was yesterday, and we were talking about Blake and Christian, and I need to publicly give both of them a huge applause, because over the past couple days, I have been away from my computer. I haven't been able to do much. And I've been being a dad, really, because Christina works 3 days a week, 12-hour shifts, comes home from work, and it's studio time from then until bed. On those days, if I'm lucky, I get a couple days or a couple of hours to work. One of those days, the little one did not have a nap, so I had no time to work, and it was rough because we're in the middle of this huge new partnership and like knee deep in a New York Comic-Con crunch. Like there's a bunch of stuff we have to get done for New York Comic-Con. So I'm panicking because there's a lot of crap that needs to get done and I can't do anything. So I'm trying to figure everything out. And my phone just keeps vibrating and vibrating and vibrating. I'm like, what is going on? And every time I look at my phone, Blake and Christian are going back and forth, talking and getting everything taken care of. The two of them single-handedly made sure that everything that needed to get done over the past few days in the beginning of this week, they made sure that everything got done. And it was beautiful. Before expanding the team, if anything like my workload had happened, nothing would have gotten done because if I'm not doing it, it doesn't get done. Mm-hmm. And the beginning of this week proved how strong of a team we have because I wasn't there and everything still got done. And that is beautiful. I love that aspect of the team and I'm excited to where that's going to keep growing. So anyway, Christina and I were talking about this and I'm like, man, you know, one thing that really sucks about having a team that's worldwide, because Christian lives in Chile, you live in Missouri, everyone lives across the country. I said, the worst part about this, I can't throw a pizza party. I can't throw a pizza party and say, good job, guys. Because I mean, shipping a pizza to Chile is expensive. I can't do that. So I don't know what to do to say how great of a job you guys are doing, except otherwise saying how great of a job you guys are doing. And like Matt, he came out and started immediately right when everything was right when this transition started. I threw a 200-page graphic novel at him and I said, here you go. And he said, I got this. And he's been knocking it out. And that book has been on the docket far longer than I care to admit for one reason or another. And the fact that it is finally getting done and getting done at the quality that Matt is doing it, it is a huge stress reliever for me. It's going to be a huge stress reliever for the client. And it's going to be fantastic to see that book getting made. So a lot of exciting things are happening. A lot of exciting things are continuing to happen. And a lot of exciting things are upcoming, especially as we continue to grow. And we're not planning on slowing down at all.
Good. I don't want to hit the brakes. I don't, like no. I'm ready. There were a couple moments where I got stressed and worried, and it was just like, but it's like I said, the things are a lot different when you care and you're proud of your work, and and I care about. I made this. I told Joel in a meeting the other day, or Joel, we have all these meetings, and then Joel and I usually have like a cool down meeting after where we like let our breath out and then talk for another hour, but it's just us, right? And then we plan some stuff and vent and like talk each other off the ledge. We're like, well, we'll figure it out. It'll all be good, right? And we have like those that are like our post meeting breakdowns, and not like mental breakdowns, but like a breakdown of the meeting.
Rule number one of business: if an opportunity arises, you say yes and you figure it out later. Yeah. These post meetings are how we figure it out.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's we were now I can't remember what I was talking about. There's something about the post meeting and we were just laughing. Yep.
You enjoy your job.
I told Joel, because I told Joel, I was like, it's not, I was like, Metal Ninja, it's not my baby, but I was like, I feel like it's my baby sometimes, and I was like, I would, I was like, if someone bullied it on the playground, like I'd go fight a dad, right? And I was like, I'll go step up and do that. And it is like, it's just, the more we do, the more I get involved in, because this isn't what I planned. I got hired as a social media manager to make, to try and get more followers and build up the audience and get things ready for the upcoming Kickstarter that we are about to wrap up now, and stuff like that, and get the social media pages going again that had been sitting and kind of quiet for a while. And
that's quiet. It was like a quiet cave. There was nothing.
There was like there weren't even like tumbleweeds blowing anymore.
No, like, you had to clean the cobwebs out.
But like, I mean, that's how I started, and then it kind of like transitioned into like marketing, and then it transitioned into like, I'm Joel's executive assistant now, and I'm involved. Like I sit in these meetings and like,
part of finding out about you have secret skills that you didn't tell us.
Yeah. My secret poetry skills that are going to.
I had no idea that I had hired an award-winning writer.
No, you did. You knew that you hired a damn good line editor, though. Like
that's true. That's true.
But yeah, it's just it's like I said, it's a different world now where I'm every day is a challenge. Yes. Is it always easy? No, but it's like when you step up to the challenge, and it's the team. Like we do there, it's this you're never alone. That's what's cool about this job, is you're never alone. Someone's always got your back, which is also cool too. If you mess up, like you're usually not the only one who messed up. So it's never like one person's fault. It's like a like it's a team failure. No, but it's one of the cool things about this job. And I, like I said, I think we all have good chemistry. I think we all work well together. There's a lot of mutual respect and a lot of good vibes, and everybody loves comic books and making comic books. And at the end of the day, we love helping our clients make these comic books and bringing these dreams and story ideals into fruition. We love being a part of that. And, like, I don't think, if we're threatened, if it comes to the point where it's like, if someone tries to take that away from us, like it's going to be like in a horror movie where you're dragging us down the halls and our fingernails are peeling off on the hardwood floor, because we're going to claw and scrape and bite and kick our way out of it. We're going to fight for this place. All of us will. And I, like, and that's the people we're hiring. That's the kind of team we're building, and people that hire us, that's who has your back when you sign a contract with us. You don't just, it's a contract, but like, we believe in you, we support you, and we fight for you too. And our clients see that. And so, yeah, it's like, we're not going anywhere but up. And I believe in that 110%. That's why I'm a marketing manager.
Yeah, I was gonna say, sign me up. Like, I don't even know what we're selling right now, but
See,
I want it.
You're I'm like starting to be all inspirational and shit like you are, because Joel is very, very good about like his, like, he's got a lot of good sayings, and he's he's done like some programs and stuff that some of it's like the physical endeavors and workout stuff that he does, but like the whole deal of like being a better person and believing in yourself and 1% better daily, and a lot of these elements that, like, it's not like I never believed him, because he's always talked like that since I've been hired, but like, I don't know, you're
drinking the Kool-Aid now?
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. the Kool-Aid's been drunk,
which is funny because I wasn't even drinking the Kool-Aid a year and a half ago. Like, all of this growth is because of my own personal development over the past year and a half. And like, Blake talks about how inspirational I am, and how even when I say that, it's got a little bit of sarcasm in it, like, oh, I'm inspirational. a year and a half ago, I didn't know how to talk to people. One of my favorite stories, I hated it back then, but now it's one of my favorite stories, is my pitch for the Dust County Chronicles. For years, it was robotic to the point where I couldn't stop halfway through. I had friends, don't really talk that much anymore because they cost me sales. I had friends that would mess with me in the middle of my pitch, specifically because they knew that the way my brain worked is I would stop and I couldn't pick up from where I stopped. I had to restart. So they'd wait till I got near the end of the pitch and then they'd mess with me. And then I'd have to restart. And the customer is just sitting there like, what is going on? So I was not a people person. I was not good at talking to people. I legitimately, no joke, took a course on charisma to learn how to talk to people. And basically the whole point of this story is no matter what you think you're bad at, you can improve it. And the only thing holding you back is your own mindset. And now I went from not being able to say my own pitch to the story that I wrote to apparently inspiring an entire team past a point that I even see it as possible. And I am extremely humbled, extremely grateful for everyone on the team, for everything that we've been doing, for all of the clients that trust us with their books, for everyone who believes in Metal Ninja Studios, especially the people who believe in me enough to come work for me. Because there was a time when I didn't believe in me enough. So the fact that I've moved past that is huge. And the fact that now other people believe in me too, it's a huge responsibility. I'm not going to lie. I feel every bit of that responsibility and I don't take it lightly. And that's why we're not going to slow down. We're going to keep pushing and I'm going to keep doing everything that I can to make sure that they put their faith in the right guy.
Yeah. That's why we love you. And honestly, I mean, like I made a joke earlier about the press tour I put Joel through, but like Joel did a whole lot of interviews for this Kickstarter campaign. And basically how I pitched a lot of people to talk to Joel was I told him, I was like, especially the Kickstarter or the YouTube channels and stuff that just cover indie comics in general. So I was like, look, the cool thing about Joel is it's like, yeah, he's going to promote this Kickstarter, but like we're doing a lot of really cool stuff in comics and he knows so much about like it's this conversation is going to be very different than a lot of your traditional like, oh, I have a Kickstarter, sell my book for me, right? I was like talking to Joel, I was like, your viewers will get a lot out of it, you'll get a lot out of it. And it shocked me because Joel told me he was like, yeah, I used to not know how to talk to people. I used to be really, really uncomfortable about it. And then, you know, and then I shoot him, I send him to all these strangers and put a microphone in front of his face and he kills it. Like, you know, and he's making jokes, people are laughing. And then he's telling stories, getting people riled up, getting people passionate, getting people excited about comic books. And he's talking about his company and when Joel starts talking about Metal Ninja Studios, like it's hard. It's damn hard not to pay attention. You know, it's just, you're like, oh, okay. You know, and it's just, and he did a great job at that. And so, you know, it's just like, I just, you know, it's great. It's hearing, I kind of want to meet weird previous Joel. Because it's just so funny because like I feel like I've known Joel like a really, really long time, just because I mean we talk a lot because we have to, but we talk a lot just to kind of level each other's heads too and make, you know, and like I said, like in our post meeting chats and all this other stuff. So we communicate a lot and we communicate very, very well. So I mean, it feels like I've known Joel a lot longer than I have. And it's funny when Joel talks about like these past iterations of Joel and it sounds like a total stranger, you know, and it's just, but like Joel has evolved, you know, look at what Metal Ninja Studios is evolving. Look at what, you know, look at what I was comic press. I was a reviewer. I was a podcaster. And I mean, I still do a lot of that stuff now, but you know, and now I help sell books. Now I help books get printed. You know, now now I look at covers that go to Kickstarter and make sure all their naughty bits are covered up. It's just like things that my job descriptions I never planned on.
I don't think any of us planned on that one. Least of all my wife.
Yeah. Who is working, right? Who's messaging me on Discord right now? Like,
is she?
She's
supposed to be relaxing.
She's working right now while we're laughing and telling stories.
She's supposed to be taking a night off. She said she was relaxing. That's why she couldn't come on this call.
But yeah, no, I think what we're doing is really cool, and I'm lucky to be here, and I hope our audience and our friends and our clients and everybody, we're gonna start doing this like a Metal Ninja Nation that's coming soon for our clients and creatives, but like I keep thinking of like a Metal Ninja Army, and it's just like and not like minions that do our bidding, but like just like everybody's fighting for indie comics kind of, and I just feel like I feel like people are starting to take interest in us, and like I said, this this Bleeding Cool article, like it's so cool, but I part of me wants to be like, dude, next year like that Bleeding Cool article is gonna be like nothing, like like it's gonna be the stuff that we're gonna do and accomplish, and it's like it's just I'm excited, like I mean I have no idea what's gonna happen necessarily, but like I'm here for it, and I think I think all of us are here for it. Like Matt left his damn job for like I was unemployed and basically homeless when they pulled me in, so I just needed a job. Like it was either work for Joel or go work at like Taco Bell, and like no, I'm just kidding. But
Taco Bell probably would have fed you.
Yeah, they would have. They still do. Now they feed me with the money you pay me. The cycle of comic books and fast food. But no, it's I think we're doing cool stuff, and we're making cool comics in-house, and we're helping other people make cool comics. And like I said, we got a cool team, and we're gonna keep doing these on Thursdays so that you get to know us, you get to know our faces, you get to know what we're doing. And part of that is to educate you, to talk about what we're doing, and also to laugh and tell stories. And we all believe in this community and care about it deeply. And we're going to be here whether you want us to or not, but our goal is where you want us to be here. Like again, going back to that damn book, that This Is Marketing, where he talks about like you want people to miss you. You want if you're not there, you want people to be like, well, damn, where did Blake and Joel go? It's like that's what you want. And when you get there, as you are a successful marketer, you have a successful product, you have a successful brand, and I think we're already there. Honestly, like I know Joel makes a lot of people's lives easier because I see all the emails now because I organize Joel's emails, and his clients like rely on him big time, and Joel takes care of them. And if one day Joel wasn't there to do it, I think a lot of these people would just like all of a sudden their comic book making endeavors would be wildly different. I had
true.
the same thing.
I learned this past week that is not true.
Okay, yeah, but so yeah, okay. If Metal Ninja wasn't there, yeah, but
bingo.
But I went through the same deal. Like I had some troubles and stuff, and there was a while like I thought about quitting like the podcast and streaming and just because I was just like, I was like, there was a time where I was like, it's all this effort. Is it paying off? Is it worth it? And like Charlie Stickney actually told me, is one of the people who told me this. And Charlie was like, Blake, like your mental health is a big deal. And if you need a break, you need to do it. And if the break turns into a longer term thing, then you got to take care of yourself. But he goes, I just, I hope you know that like there are a lot of people would miss you if you weren't here talking comics, and that like, that made me feel like really, really good. And we're carrying that like we're putting the community on our shoulders. Like that's how we want, we want we want to be that rock that people can rely on, you know, and we want to be that rock that people can lean on, stand on, climb up and get a better vantage point. That's part of what the blog's doing. That's part of what our free education initiative's doing. You know, we love this community. We love comics, and that's,
Yep.
I'm so bad about that. I just repeat myself all the time. But you know, but that's it. You know, that's what being a metal ninja is all about. And one of these days, Joel's going to send me
over and over and over and over and over.
That's branding.
that is true. That is true.
You know how many times I've said buzz baby? I have no idea. That's a lot.
Where's that from? That sounds familiar.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think that's all that I have. We need more questions.
Yeah, you guys need to come up with stuff to ask us that doesn't have to do with my poetry career
or all about his poetry, whatever. We just need more questions. A big part of what we want to do with this, the past two, next 10, next 50, however many, it's going to be a lot of us talking about Metal Ninja Studios, the stuff that's going on, the stuff that we're developing, that we're building, announcements like this, kind of giving behind the scenes looks at some of the stuff that's going on. But a big part of why we want to do these roundtables is to give you guys and give everyone watching this an opportunity to ask questions, whether it's about comic script writing, whether it's about lettering, design, working with publishers, how to get a publisher, how to get Blake to write for you, like whatever it is. Those questions are what we're here to answer.
Yeah.
And it's going to take time. That's one of the big things that I told Blake in the beginning, because a lot of people, when they're looking for social media, it's quick. I'm paying attention to the metrics. We need to see consistent growth, and I need to see 6 months we need to hit this metric, 6 months we need to hit this metric. I don't think like that. I'm looking years down the line. I have the next 5 to 10 years planned out, and with that, honestly, it's going to take us a while for this to grow. It's going to take a while for the dojo to get the traction that I want it to. And I'm okay with that, because what we're going to do is every single day, or every single first Thursday of the month, we're going to be here. Every single Sunday, we're going to have a new blog post. And eventually, 10 years down the line, when someone stumbles upon Metal Ninja Studio, they will have 10 years worth of content that they can look back on. And regardless of whether or not you guys are here right now, whether you're here in the future, nice to meet you. I'm glad that you found Metal Ninja Studios, and I hope you're finding value in what we do. As we're progressing, ask some questions if you have any, whatever they are, and we will answer them to the best of our abilities. And we will continue to do so for the next 10, 20, however many years, to make sure that we are providing as much value as possible to this community that we love so much, whether it's via this or the Sunday blog posts or any of the other things that we have planned that are going to be coming down the pipeline. So,
and you never know where a question's going to take you. I actually had a story that popped in my head earlier, and we kind of got away from the topic, so I kind of dropped it. But when Blake asked about, which fonts should I have and stuff, years and years, I heard this story. Woody Allen used to go to the same diner as Ed Bengat, who is a legendary typographer, apparently also a jazz percussionist. But like, and they were just talking, and he was like, "Oh, what do you do?" He's like, "Oh, well, I make, I do typography." And Woody's like, "Well, I'm working on a new movie. I think it was, which one is it? Love and Death, I think, was the one that he was working on then. And he needed a font for all his titles and stuff. He's like, what's a good font?" And he was like, and he was just like, Windsor light condensed is a good font. And so it's kind of become Woody Allen's signature font now. It's been on since like Annie Hall, I think it's been on just about all of his films for all the titles and everything. Found one font that he heard from a guy who knew what a good font is. This was a good font. Grabbed it, used it, liked it, and built a whole lot of really iconic movies.
Yeah,
using just from a question he asked a guy in a diner. So,
and that brings up a great point in
Peppers.
You're fired. Don't listen to Blake. You can listen to anyone else on this panel, but not Blake. He is shunned. So it brings up a really good point in the fact that a big reason why people don't ask questions, psychologically speaking, everyone has questions about something. But we're more afraid of looking like we don't know something than we are of not knowing something. So because of that, people don't want to seem like they don't know something, so they won't ask the question. But what you don't realize is that whether someone is watching this 10 years from now, or they're in the same live stream as you, there's someone who doesn't know what you don't know. And that person is just as afraid to ask the question, is just as nervous and anxious. They don't want to sound stupid, just like you don't want to sound stupid. But that's why we're here, and no one's going to know. And maybe you ask the question, and then that person 10 years down the line will get an answer, and they will make the next great American novel. You never know who will find a benefit in what you don't know, especially in a forum like this where the answers are public. We're not going to pull any punches. We're going to answer. I mean, you can ask Blake, you can ask Matt. I hold myself to a very high standard. I hold the team to the same high standard. And that goes with our workload. That goes with our answers. That goes with reviews, anything. When we provide an answer, we are going to answer that question to the best of our abilities, regardless of what we necessarily say we disagree on something. That's a good one. Like going back to when Matt and I were talking before about our sketching methods and how he sketches and I don't. By having a platform like this, we can provide both of those alternatives. We can make it to where if we disagree on something, we can talk about it and we can provide more alternatives than just one person or one website. If you Google it after this call and you're like, oh man, I should have asked that question, let me Google it. I mean, here you can at least have the feedback and you can have the dialogue. I know it's going to be a while before anyone starts asking questions, and I'm okay with that. But if you got a question, it doesn't hurt to ask, and it could end up changing someone's life.
Yeah, and no one's gonna shame anybody here. No one's gonna, like,
unless they say papyrus.
Which is, I had no idea about that until some Discord chats, and then I saw that SNL skit, and then then we got into that. And was it Matt, was it you, or was it was Christian, right, who had a client like who made him put Comic Sans in a script or something, and he was like begging him not to, or like I think it was Christian.
Might have been Bernardo.
Oh, might have been. Bernardo. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Somebody. But yeah, they were like, Joel was like, no, like don't even share that in the Discord. But no, like no one's gonna make you feel silly or out of place or try and talk down to you. Like if you have questions about running a Kickstarter, or like, if you want to talk about pre-launch or like, cover releases or stuff like that, like This is stuff that I've been learning about the last, month or 2 months, leading up to these new campaigns and stuff we're doing, and how to promote those on social media, how to release those on Kickstarter, how to write good updates and things like that. Like, there's a lot of you that need to ask these questions. Like I'll shame you a little bit about. Like, so, some of you who think like you're doing everything great, like you're not, and that's okay. Like we mentioned before, like making mistakes is part of life, is part of the game, but like not wanting to learn from them or being okay with making them continuously, like that's where the problem lies. And so, we're we're here to help, and we would love to share our expertise with the community. And we do a lot of work with Kickstarter stuff, right? And so like it's good for us to have people having good Kickstarter campaigns, whether they're our clients or not. Like we want that scene to thrive, and we want that platform to thrive, because that's I know it sounds kind of selfish, but that's good for us. That's good for our brand. That's good for our company too. But on top of that, we do care, and we're here to help. So think about that for the future.
A good point there is you have to be selfish before you can be selfless.
See, he just says shit, and you're like,
because
you could have been like a war general. Like you're like
Gary Busey without the head injury.
like if it's like World War II and I'm scared and I'm like, I'm not getting out of this trench. Like Joel's the one who could like get me to like get out of the trench, right? Like, Blake, we need you. Like, all right, fine. 1% better. Don't get shot in the face. Here we go.
Well, I was actually going to go back to that 1% better daily, which is one of the 3 founding values of Metal Ninja Studios. That is probably the most important one out of the 3 of them, because it is about acknowledging the fact that we are not perfect, acknowledging that there's stuff that we still have to learn, and then making a tiny incremental step to learn it. And then those incremental steps get better and better, and they compound until the sky's the limit. Like, by acknowledging that you don't know everything, acknowledging that you're not perfect, it frees you, because you're no longer stressed about perfection. You're no longer stressed about proving that you know everything. Like, I flat out admit I do not know social media. I got to where I am without social media marketing just by word of mouth, because people liked what I was doing. I probably could have gotten things done a lot faster if I knew social media, but I didn't. It's one of my biggest weaknesses. And I admitted that I needed help with that. And that's how Blake got here. And I admitted that I needed help when the workload started getting to be too much. And that's how Metal Ninja Studios was born. Like, admitting that you need help is the foundational element that Metal Ninja Studios is built on, because we admit when we need help, and that's how the team grows. And we all admit that we're not perfect, and that's 1% better daily. And that's why we all have continuing education every single day as part of working for Metal Ninja Studios. We're all getting better, myself included. I tell these guys, I do not ask them to do anything that I either have not done myself or do not do myself. And continuing education is another part of that. So yeah, all that to say, ask questions, get answers.
Yeah. We'll be back. Well, we'll be back tomorrow and the day after and the day after that, but we'll be back live first Thursday every month for these dojos. I have fun with them. I hope you all have fun listening. For everybody that hung out with us for the 2 hours tonight, like, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And yeah, like I said, come back, tell your friends, people that have Kickstarters, new creators, hop in, ask questions. We're here to help. And we know what I don't want to sound like cocky, but like we know we've been doing this stuff a lot, and we can point you in right directions. We may not have the best answers for everything, but we can definitely point you in the right direction and help you take those smaller steps to better levels. So, think about that. Join us next time, and, follow us on the social medias. I think it's going to be fun to watch us and see where we end up. I may be, like I said, I might be biased, but, I do a lot of press, and I have been called one of the best comic book hype men out there. And so when I say I've got big dreams and big big ideas and big like where I think we're going, it's and I don't think it's just hype. I think it's real. So, I think we're worth watching. So watch us, follow us, subscribe to us, subscribe to me too. But I'm sponsored now, so it's like Metal Ninja. It's all this. We're all just one big nerdy family now. So, but yeah, we'd love to have more of you in these chats and all that good stuff. And we just do, everybody that's backed the campaign, everybody that's supported us, anytime anybody retweets us, everybody who reads the blog, shares the blog, who, tells us thank you on social media, it means a ton. And we thank you so much for it. And we're here for you, whatever you need.
Yep. Thanks for watching, guys.
Don't get weird with it. We're here for whatever you need, as long as it's not weird.
That's what Blake's here for. Yeah. All right. Talk to you guys later.
Have a good night, everybody.